Thanks very much, Mark. We're almost ready to go. Well, the resurgence of Burnley is the key at the bottom end of the Premier League, and that has Leeds United looking over their shoulder. They have 33 points with 6 to go, a couple clear of Burnley. Only a few weeks ago we were suspecting that 33 would be enough. Crystal Palace have 37 points, should be clear, but they have difficult fixtures to come. If they win tonight, that'll take them to 40, the mythical mark, and they will be okay. Much improved this season in terms of excitement, in terms of buoyancy, but 1 point and 1 position worse off than they were at this stage under Roy Hodgson. But Patrick Vieira has the fans believing, that's for sure. He makes just one change tonight he makes a 5 change, I should say, tonight. Leeds make the one, Phillips in for Koch, but for Crystal Palace they bring in Ward, and they bring in the captain tonight in MacArthur and Eze and Mateta and Ayu Koyate, Lise Schlupp and Edouard go to the bench. Tyrick Mitchell is injured. I'll run you through the lineups in full in a moment. We're nearly off and underway. We'll await the whistle of referee Darren England out there, with Crystal Palace kicking off in this first half. A lovely night actually in South London. They'll be kicking from right to left away from the home stair end, with the Crystal Palace ultras in the centre of that lower tier. The players of both sides and the match officials and team officials take the knee in the battle against racism. One player stands, Wilfried Zaha makes his own protest. We're almost ready and off and underway we go. Palace unbeaten in their last 5 outings at Selhurst Park, but in all competitions they've lost their last 3. Leeds have won 3 of their last 4 in the Premier League games. This match, Chris, all of a sudden it's taken on really big importance, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, because of Burnley's, should I say, surprise form? I think I should say that. Incredible couple of results they have had, and Leeds, who since Jesse Marsh has come in, I think they have turned a bit of a corner, but they need a few more results, and they've got a tough run in.
Interesting just to hear your talk there on the Monday Night Club about the dominance of certain clubs in Europe. You'd have to be of an age, but there certainly was an age in the late 60s and early 70s when Leeds were very much a dominant force in English football. And I used to travel up to Ellen Road from Cornwall in the 60s. My dad knew Don Revie, and we used to watch the wonderful Leeds United side of those days.
That must have taken you a while.
There was no motorway. I think there was one little stretch of motorway just south of Birmingham. But apart from that, yeah, it was donkey traps in those days, and little dusty lanes.
Which route would you have taken?
Over Bodmin Moor, and then up past Bridgewater, and then there's a stretch of dual carriageway there through Bristol, up Strensham Services. There was a dual carriageway into Birmingham, through Birmingham. Do you want me to carry on?
No.
M6,
no, honestly.
through Manchester, up over Saddleworth Moor, yeah. Halifax, we used to stay there. Skirk at Green Lane.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
No. As I've said many times on a Monday night, sad life, but there you are. Here's a throw to Leeds United on the right hand side, and Luke Ayling will take it.
Interesting matchup, haven't we, down the Leeds right? Rafinha, I'd say that he's a star man against Joel Ward, the Crystal Palace left back tonight. Mitchell out.
Yeah, Ward, the longest serving player at Crystal Palace, and I think when Roy Hodgson and Ray Lewington came here, they looked at him and thought, I'm not too sure he's got many more days left in him in football, and he astounded them. His level of fitness is superb, and he's back in this Palace side. It's going to be a throw to Leeds United on that far side. What have you made of the appointment, and indeed the form so far under Jesse Marsh, Chris?
Look, interesting appointment. He's had a pretty, they lost the first 2 games, but they've turned it around a little bit in terms of conceding opportunities. They've got a little bit stronger.
That's all the way through to Vicente Guaita in the Crystal Palace goal. The Eagles manager Patrick Vieira was saying they needed to start quicker than they did at Newcastle in the week, where they didn't get into their customary stride. Here's MacArthur, the veteran at 34 years of age now. Wilfried Zaha, he's had a really good season. I think he's helped out by having Conor Gallagher in that side. Gallagher box to box. Christian, when Zaha often looks up, he's got Gallagher in there. Now it's over the top to Mateta, and the goalkeeper's hesitated, and Mateta's flicked it beyond him, and it's cleared away. The Leeds United centre-half, Robin Koch, got it away.
Well, that's far too easy. I thought Mateta should have scored. Bouncing ball, lifted the ball over Leslie, and the Leeds goal. One ball doing for that Leeds backline. Palace should be in front.
Llorente who got it away, playing at centre-back. Koch is the one player who's been left out for them. Calvin Phillips starting for the first time since that hamstring problem. He's had a couple of cameos from the bench in the last couple of games. Massive for Leeds United. They're on the defensive again as Palace look for Ayew on 5 line down the right hand side, about 5 yards in from the far touchline. That's the Arthurwaite stand, and that's where the Leeds United supporters are. They've come again in their thousands, and the Leeds fans away from home are always in fine voice.
Just seen that chance again, Jonathan, and it's Klein who hits a 60-70 yard ball through, and Leslie just hesitates. Mateta gets there first, could have lifted it over him. They've still got a bit of an issue, haven't they, Palace, in that centre forward position. Patrick Vieira, not quite sure. Mateta, Benteke, Hobson, Edouard, they all get opportunities, but nobody can really nail down.
Hasn't Gallagher been the major difference for them this season?
I think so, absolutely. A huge plus.
Here's Ward scampering down the left, plays into Zaha, little step over, and then another one. Now pushes it wide to Ward on the overlap. Mateta's in the middle, across, collect to go by Ian Meslier, the Leeds United goalkeeper, the 21-year-old Frenchman. Confident catch.
They work it well, Palace, down the left-hand side. Good interplay from Ward and Zaha. Of course, Ward, a natural right footer, just lifting a left footed cross. No real conviction with the cross, which allowed Meslier to come and collect.
He's looked for the pace of Dan James. He needed to be Superman to get to that, though. It's far too long by the very versatile Stuart Dallas, who has played virtually everywhere. I think he's had a terrific season, the Northern Ireland International League ever present, isn't he? Playing at left back today. And it's all out to Gahey, and here's Ward. Don't forget, you can hear all the reaction to the game on the Football Daily podcast on BBC Sounds. And while you're there, by the way, check out Jill Scott's Coffee Club. Interested in women's football, it's terrific. I think she's got Ellen White there on the podcast this week, and Ella Toon as well. Here's Dallas, plays into Rodrigo playing in the sort of 10 role with Dan James through the middle. When I last saw them live, it was at West Ham. They'd just been beaten the previous week in the Cup, 2-0, and then they lost 2-0 in the Cup, but anyway in the league they won 3-2. It's a thrilling display. He was terrific that day, Dan James.
He's playing as a central striker, versatile player, isn't he, Dan James? Of course they've missed Patrick Bamford this season. 17 goals, was it? 17 last season, I think it was. But also the way he led the line. Would hold it in, link up, his movement was good. So have to do it a different way this season. I think it's affected them a little bit.
Here's Zaha. Angles it all back to Joachim Andersen. What a good signing he has been. Was at Fulham last season on loan, and wide to Klein. Klein pings it forward, and there again is the rather deceptive pace of Jean-Philippe Mateta. He's a tall man, the 6'4" Frenchman from Clamart. Couldn't get there, and Leeds roll out then towards Liam Cooper. Another they missed badly in the opening months of the season. The whole spine of the team was missing. Punt long looking for James, and Guaita out of his penalty area, and Fly hacks it away, right foot. It bounces just in front of the Arthurwaite stand, brought down neatly actually, out of play by Dallas. Good touch throw, he'll take it.
And of course Calvin Phillips, when did he last start the game? Was it December?
Early December, yeah.
There you go.
Early December. Out wide here to Luke Ayling, another who missed games this season. A couple of months, wasn't it? And look for Rafinha. Doesn't make it. It's away to Eze to Mateta. Quick switch out to Zaha. Zaha takes on Ayling on the outside and goes down in a crumpled heap, and it's going to be a free kick to Crystal Palace. Jesse Marsh meanwhile has a a word with the fourth official down there, complaining about something. Jesse Marsh with his black coat on and his black trousers and his white training shoes, very bright down there.
A little bit too old for white trainers, do you think, Jonathan?
Well, he's still a very young man, as you all are for me, Chris, but he's what, 48? Too old for white trainers?
I don't know.
62? Too old for rather dirty white trainers?
Yours were white at one particular time, maybe 1983.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jesse Marsh's trainers never ran a London Marathon. These have run 3. And away it goes. I'm a bit stingy, I don't get new ones.
I'm with you.
And on the far side, Anderson now for Crystal Palace. Rolls it down the line, looking for Gallagher. They got him back next season, wouldn't they, Conor Gallagher? But I think that Chelsea will want him in their side next season, especially given the financial uncertainty over the club. It's a free kick now for Leeds United, 10 yards inside their own half, plumb dead centre. Leeds in the famous all white. And it wasn't always that colour, by the way, but Don Revie loved it. Wanted them to play like Real Madrid. And it's pumped too long for Luke Ayling, and that will be a goal kick to Crystal Palace. We've been playing 9 minutes on 5 Live. It's Palace 0, Leeds United 0. Alongside me, Chris Sutton once again. He talks about goal scorers, you know, he knows his business. 193 goals this man scored in his career in 546 games. And a goal scoring record of virtually 1 in 3 at Norwich, and better than 1 in 3 at Blackburn, better than 1 in 2 at Celtic, and at Chelsea he scored 3 in 39 games.
You loved that, didn't you? I was hoping for a bit of goalmouth action just before you got to Chelsea. Dear me.
Oh dear, it took me a long time to get those stats.
People think you're a nice guy, don't they?
Well, they're wrong. Here's Jose for Crystal Palace, centre circle. He finds Gallagher right hand side, down the line. Astonishing for Crystal Palace. He's climbed, crossed into the middle. Zaha's attacked it! And he's had a loops up and is easily gathered by Elim Nevia.
Actually, Zaha made the run too early there. The ball was terrific. They work it really well wide on the right hand side. Ayew, and then the overlapping Klein, and the ball floated in across the 6-yard line. Zaha gets there too early and doesn't get enough power on the header.
When you look at the bare stats I mentioned, where they are in the league compared to last season, Chris, it doesn't really tell the story here of what's gone on this season, does it? The mood's completely different, I think.
Absolutely. It's let's get it right. Roy Hodgson did a fantastic job at Crystal Palace, but this is a totally different brand of football where Palace, they try and take the game to teams, and Gallagher has been a massive part of that. Interesting to see how Eze gets on tonight, because he's had big injury issues this season, playing in that number 10 role. Such a talented player.
It's a big crash, crossfield ball by Anderson, kept in by Joel Ward. No, just bounced away from him. Half cover some ground to get there, though, the 32-year-old fullback, but now he's out of position as Leeds take a throw in deep inside their own half. Rafinha turns it on into the midfield area, and I don't think that is going to come the way of Mateusz Klich. He had to stretch too far, so it's going to be a throw then to Crystal Palace. He was out from May as he through to November with an Achilles injury. He has been a bit stop-start since then, as the ball is slanted away at the back for Leeds United by Cooper, and it's going to be a throw in then for Crystal Palace.
No real rhythm just yet. Leeds United trying to ease the way into this game, as Palace, who have been the better team in the opening stages.
There's 3 defeats in a row following an unbeaten run of 7 for Palace. 3 defeats in 14.
Good at home though, aren't they?
They are very strong, and we saw them, and it seems like yesterday, Chris, when they demolished the Arsenal here.
And it seemed like yesterday for you.
Well, you sort of, time flashes past so quickly when you know you're going to be working with a true friend again, and a man you admire. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here tonight, so I'm with you again, but it's going to be Palace in possession on that far side. No, it's not, it's a free kick for Leeds.
Interesting dynamic. The managers managed against each other in New York. Jonathan,
New York City, Patrick Vieira, Jesse Marsh.
What was that derby called?
The Big Apple Derby.
I don't think so. You don't know everything.
I know very little.
The Hudson River Derby.
He was at the Red Bulls, wasn't he?
I'll say it again, the Hudson River.
The Hudson River Derby.
Yeah.
Right. It's going to be a throw to be taken by Ailey. A touch off there by Rodrigo, was blocked by Anderson outside his own penalty area. Mateta tries to hold it up, but Llorente was behind him, and the ball springs away towards the far side from Usted. Harrison tried to win it back for Leeds United, and Palace have it on that far side. And here is Anderson. 13 minutes gone. Anderson alongside Gahey at the back for Crystal Palace, with Ward at the left full-back position and Klein the right full-back position, and Gallagher tucked in there with MacArthur, Ezzy in the 10, Zaha wide on the left-hand side, Ayew on the right, and then through the middle is big Mateta.
Strong Leeds haven't strung 3 passes together so far, opening stages.
Zaha was caught in possession there by Rafinha, and the ball springs to Harrison. He tried to work it quickly to the edge of the Palace penalty area. He stepped out, cleared it away, and now he's Gallagher. Balloons the ball over the top of the covering Dallas, and looks here then for Ayew. Mateta making a break round in the middle. It's a lovely cross in, and it's away for a goal kick. Mateta, tall man himself at 6'4", couldn't stretch to 6'5" and edge it in. Great move by Crystal Palace.
I thought he got contact on the ball, Mateta. It's a brilliant ball from Gallagher. Dallas, the Leeds left back, gambles on the ball being played to feet. Gallagher fires a ball over his head to Ayew, who feeds the ball across, and there's a little touch from Llorente just before it gets to Mateta. He dangles out that big lanky leg, and it goes wide of the far post.
He's back-to-back away wins at Watford and at Wolves, and they're looking to win 3 consecutive top-flight away fixtures for the first time in 20 years. August 2002 it was, since they last won 3 away on the spin in the top flight. City Palace have probably had more of the ball at the moment in the opening quarter of an hour.
Yeah, they've been the more confident team, the better team, passed the ball well. I don't know what Leeds are actually trying to do when they get in possession of the ball. They're not playing through midfield. They've got the diminutive figure of Daniel James as a centre forward, hitting big long balls up to him. Hasn't worked so far for Leeds.
I was hearing 1 or 2 sort of whispered complaints of the Bielsa reign coming out of Leeds in recent weeks. You in favour of that? He was a hero for Yorkshire.
Yeah. The king is dead, long live the king. Bielsa did a fantastic job at Leeds. I actually thought the end of his reign was a little bit harsh, but the team have reacted with the appointment of Jesse Marsh, but he's still got a job on to keep this team in the Premier League.
His team has possession groans from the Palace fans. They felt that Ayew was dragged back. Interesting also to hear Jesse Marsh understands that he'll have to win over those sceptics in the UK of USA soccer coaches, and he appreciates he has to perhaps learn a different lingo. It's too early to judge him really. What has the man had? Very few, a handful of games. 6. He's got alongside him Cameron Toshak, by the way, his coaching staff, John's son. He did very well at Swansea in the youth team set up there as a coach. It's a goal kick here now to Crystal Palace, away to the right. Game's not really got underway yet. Chris is celebrating family success this week in the world of football. Well done to Wroxham, getting promoted with young Sutton in goal.
Yeah, wasn't good enough to play outfield, so had to play in between the sticks. But yeah, Wroxham, lovely part of the world, Jonathan.
That's harsh on your son. He's just won promotion. He's not good enough to play out on the field.
That's a little bit harsh, yeah. No, they've had a really good season. Step 5 to step 4. Macclesfield, of course, all the attention they got. Wroxham did it without all the fuss.
All the money.
And the budget, small budget. It can be done.
It's cleared away by Anderson. Touched up by Nathaniel Klein. And just it's Palace side of the halfway line. Cooper pushed it on, it comes back to him, lets it bounce, and Llorente is there for Leeds. Cooper had the stretch, he fouled Conor Gallagher. It's a free kick to Crystal Palace. Leeds aren't happy with the decision.
But that's what Conor Gallagher, and you've mentioned it a couple of times already, that's what has given Palace that impetus to press the ball. And the ball loops up in the air from Llorente. Gallagher onto it, gets caught by Cooper. And an opportunity now to throw the ball in from a free kick, halfway into the Leeds half on that right-hand side. He's all action though, isn't he, Gallagher?
Never stops. It was a horrible spin of the ball, by the way, that deceived Diego Llorente in the air. He's started all but 3 of their last 24 league games. £20 million signing, wasn't he, from Sociedad in September of 2020.
Sociedad? You did a little thing there, didn't you?
Sociedad? Real. And it's going to be a free kick, and Eze will take it into the penalty area. Glanced away through. For a throw in.
Do you do that with all Spanish teams then?
Certainly. Sound like Terry Thomas, remember the Robin Hood cartoon? What was he called? Sir Hiss. Anyway, Eze tries to win it back for Crystal Palace from the Leeds short throw, and does enough, so Leeds have to try and scramble this away now. And Zaha pressurises Ayling, who goes down. It's a goal kick. They have a little word. He's a smashing lad, Luke Ayling. Deserves all success he gets in football. Let's see if this is about Zaha. His arm came back on Ayling once, twice. Ayling might have gone down too easily, but there's nothing there at all. Had to work really hard on his career, Luke Ayling. I've been lucky enough to interview him as he stretches there and couldn't get to a rather poor ball pushed out to him by Diego Llorente. So Crystal Palace have a throw. It's 2 yards inside the Leeds United half. It's on the left hand side. We've been playing 20 minutes. We haven't had 20 passing movements in the game. It's 0-0. Mateta back to Ward. Ward spoons it up into the air. Llorente comes, good claim, out to the left hand touchline again. Ward springs to it, heads forward, and there's Click to dink it down the line. Gets a pat on the back from his manager, who appreciates the effort. It's a little pump fist sign, and that's a terrible throw by Rafinha infield. McArthur has won it back. Now Marsh turns away despairing as Zaha sets forth towards the edge of the Leeds penalty area. On the outside, Jinks one way, Jinks the other. Rodrigo blocks, comes back to Zaha, tucks it back up the line to Eze. Eze surrounded and loses possession, and it's put away by Rafinha for Leeds United. Deep into the Palace half, wide to the right hand touchline. James already made up enough yards to get there between the box and the touchline. 0-0. James strokes the ball back here to Harrison. Harrison pushes it on to Click, and Rodrigo joins in. Gallagher scampers forward. Click, nice movement here from Leeds. Harrison into the penalty area, shoots, quickly blocked by a combination of Ward and McArthur, and there's a foul by Mateusz Click, and it's a free kick to Crystal Palace for the push on Gallagher.
Yeah, very odd minute of football. First of all, Rafinha throwing the ball straight to a Crystal Palace player. They break out, and then maybe the perfect scenario for Leeds with playing Daniel James as a centre forward, ball in behind in the right hand channel. They work a decent shooting situation, but blocked by the Palace defender, and then Palace win a free kick.
Bayu, right hand touchline, back to him, to the halfway line and beyond. Anderson opens up his body, looks to his left. Gay is dropped back. It's now square of the big Danish defender. Decides not to push the ball to him, finds McArthur instead. Now it's back with Anderson, and Leeds United closing, but not hassling and harrying Bielsa style. They're not up and at them and in their face.
Yeah, they're more measured in their setup, aren't they, Leeds?
It was a style that was inevitably going to face burnout at some stage.
I think the squad didn't like to work with a big squad, did he, Bielsa? I think ultimately that may have been his downfall.
Klein pumps long down the right hand touchline. Across the cover comes Cooper, heading onto the head of, can't see that Palace player out there. Just see that big loudspeaker, was it Jordan Ayew? Was Jordan Ayew? It's a throw to to Leeds. Loudspeakers hung from the roof of the main stand.
Just duck down a little bit.
Oh yes. You can see the far stand now as well. It's remarkable what you can do if you move your body athletically. I remember the day. It's going to be a throw for Leeds on that left-hand touchline. Tomorrow, Manchester City, Real Madrid, 8 o'clock, John Murray and Alan Shearer, Champions League semi-final, first leg Wednesday, Liverpool against Villarreal. Foyers, Palace attacking to the penalty, and they look for Mateta. Played in by Zaha, too much pace on the ball, and Melier, this very capable young Frenchman, comes and smothers.
How careless have Leeds been on the ball, feeding the ball there to Zaha. Good passing position. He should have made that pass to Mateta, who made a good run in between the centre halves.
We do have for you on 5 Live. Mention those 2 Champions League semi-finals coming your way the next 2 nights. Then we've got West Ham, Eintracht Frankfurt, Europa League semi on 5 Live. Manchester United against Chelsea, Premier League on Sports Extra. That's Thursday now. We've got a few angry words between Rolf Zaha, and he's been calmed down by the referee. Click was involved too.
And they're still going.
Player who likes to play on the edge, although they have had him this year channeling that aggression, if you like, into his actual forward play more than in previous seasons where he's been he's lacked focus at times when he's lacked composure. Temper's got the better of it. Here's Gahey, very rarely lacks composure. What a fine signing to Eze, and it's Leeds United have it back again. James stoops to head in field. MacArthur's there at 0-0. MacArthur finds Gallagher, and Gallagher, an exhausting season for him for Crystal Palace, 34 games. Back to White, now here's MacArthur. Anderson, tall and leggy, the Dane, strokes the ball away wide to climb, but it sold short, and it's going to be a throw then to Crystal Palace, because who was that that went across there? Rodrigo to intercept. Throw to Crystal Palace in their red and blue striped shirts and blue shorts. The Wembley, I thought, was a picture, the semi-final, red and blue balloons, and here in Croydon, big banners with a massive send-off to them on the day. Borough came out, it seemed, to support them on the way up there to ultimate defeat. Leeds burrowing into the penalty area. It was a promising run by Harrison, and he's forced the corner kick on that far side then for Leeds United. Burrowing into the box, tenacious, direct. It came off Klein in the end, I think, did it?
Yeah, persistent, wasn't it, from Harrison? You do have that threat in the wide areas. Leeds, Harrison off the left, Rafinha off to the right, an opportunity from a corner.
Is this the first corner of the game, producer George? Oh, Chris.
It is, isn't it? One job, George.
Can't get the start. Corner ball, left hand side. It is the first corner. It swung away out towards the far post, and in came big Liam Cooper, and a tame header as he looked for his first goal since December 2020.
And there's a left-footed corner from Harrison. A lot of air on the ball. Cooper gets up well at the far post, but Anderson just does enough with his body and doesn't allow Cooper an easy header.
A throw to Leeds United, applauded by Patrick Vieira down below us. He's got his, what is that, an anorak or a sort of half puffer jacket down there with his grey trousers on and shiny shoes. And Ayling will take it with that familiar little top knot, long hair tied up.
It's not an anorak, is it?
Well, what is it? It's a very, I don't know, posh. And Wardle spinning headed away out towards us near touchline. It's going to be a throw for Leeds United. Come on, fashion guru.
Well, I'm no fashion expert, but that's not a posh jacket.
It looks it to me. You don't get them in the charity shop in my village, I can tell you. They must be posh for me. Rafinha will prepare to take this throw in down below us on the right hand side for Leeds. Into the box it goes, looking for the little touch on in there. It's cleared away, and here comes a big hit by Leeds United. It's blocked on the edge of the penalty area. It's Dallas with the shot that was blocked, and it's left Jordan, are you down inside the D, I think, for Palace?
I think he did really well, didn't he, to block the shot. It's a long throw from Leeds, and poor defending from Palace. Little Click gets the first header, and the ball backheeled by Cooper to the edge of the box. And Dallas comes onto it, fires a shot right-footed. And as he fires a shot, it's blocked, but he jumps into Jordan Ayew, who just been hauled back to his feet by his teammate Anderson.
Scored in that win over Arsenal. Didn't he play well that day? Really put in a great shift in that 3-0 win. Palace were very good, Arsenal were very bad, and yet they bounced back. Arsenal, you couldn't see them bouncing back, not from that abject performance, but they have done. It's 0-0 here with 28 minutes gone. It's a crucial night for Leeds beyond this one. Manchester City, then they go to Arsenal, then they have Chelsea. Final two games, Brighton at home and Brentford away.
Have you done a little points tally for teams at the bottom? Do you do boring things like that?
I certainly do. I'm very proud of it, yes. Thank you very much, Chris.
So who have you got to go down then?
Well, at the moment, the bottom two I don't think will survive, and then I think it'll go to goal difference between Everton, Burnley and Leeds, because I think they'll all finish on 40.
Wow.
Yeah, and Palace will have 42 and Villa will have 44, but they're the worrying team for me, Villa.
Agreed. And how many years have you done this for?
Well, I'm proud to say 42 years in a row now, Chris.
And how many years have you been right out of that 42?
Well, I'm proud to say, Chris, 9 times out of 42.
Have you really?
Yes.
9 times?
No times.
No times.
There's I talk about managers' success rate. I've got a 0% sex rate. It's that as well. It's Rafinha. How wide's that? Ailing's crossed into the middle, and it's backed out of the air.
So hoping they wouldn't score then.
Don't. Oh dear, incorrigible. Now here's Zaha on the left-hand side, 0-0. Eze. 5 Live. A live sport. Now here's Gahey to the right-hand side, slanted the ball away then to Ayew. Eze in support central midfield area. McCarthy with his white boots and pointing there, right hand pointing away. He knew where he wanted to play the ball, but he didn't. Now it comes out to where he wanted it to go. Zaha on this near side, rolls beyond Ayling. He pulled him back, and the referee will give the free kick. And there was contact, and Zaha saying to the referee, I think that's 3 times. And the referee waves them away. Palace won a yellow card. Let's see it again here, Chris.
Yeah, little jink, and Ayling does catch him late, but I don't like to see that. Players protesting to the referee, asking Ayling, or the referee to book Ayling. An opportunity now for Palace.
Was he almost sort of taunting Ayling there to come towards him like Muhammad Ali might have done there to Joe Frazier back in the day, come to me, you know? And what he did.
Different sport though.
Yes, I appreciate that fact. And different sort of sportsman as well. As they will take the free kick, left-hand side. Now he's got his left hand raised. Who's he looking at? Mateta's right in the middle of the penalty area. It leads with everyone back. It's glanced away by Cooper. Gallagher just outside the box, brought it down right-footed. Between the penalty box and the far side is Ayew. Back it goes into Gallagher. Gallagher on 5 Live. Left foot, that's a lovely cross towards the far post area. Zaha hits it back into the middle. He has got the shot, as he might not. Oh, brilliant block for Leeds United. Super block there. Denied Eze. I think it was Llorente who got the block in, and it's away far side. Arthur Waite stand, right hand side for Palace. They'll have a throw a yard inside their own half.
Yeah, brilliant from Llorente as the ball dropped in the box. Eze level with the left hand post, 12-13 yards out, trying to bend the ball into the far top corner, and from nowhere Llorente got the block in.
Zaha spinning away from Ayling. He's giving him a torrid time at this moment in time. Could be key, this, on the Palace left. Back to Zaha. Ayling's behind him. Bumps it. It's rather Phillips is behind him this time. Calvin Phillips bumps into him. The referee's given a free kick for Crystal Palace, and Phillips walks away with the ball in his hand, disparagingly.
Yeah, Jesse Marsh is really unhappy about the antics of Zaha throwing himself down too easily. I think there was contact, I think it was a free kick, but does he need to throw himself to the floor like that? Exaggerated movement. You know what, I'm thinking of putting him into the simulation game, Jonathan.
We'll hear that on 6:06 with Chris Sutton and the other one, and it's going to be a free kick for Palace, and it'll be taken by Eze. Certainly was contact there, and Zaha's feeling down the back of his calf, but I don't think he was hurt. In comes a free kick, lovely header. It's a comfortable save by Meslier to deny the danger man in the air, Jean-Philippe Mateta.
Yeah, the ball's very, very good, and Mateta just can't direct the ball back across Meslier in the Leeds goal. Straight down his throat there. Easy take for Meslier. Opportunity again, really.
Let's have it back again. Driving to the middle is Gallagher, and the referee has to think about that. Was it a free kick as Click came towards him, not given Click and Phillips, the midfield pivot for Leeds United. Calvin Phillips brings it away towards that far left-hand side, then Dallas the left back, Ayling the right. Ayling getting forward down this right-hand side now. If they look to ping it out wide, they might do. Click bends it out towards Luke Ayling, just a little bit too much pace on the ball.
Passing has been off all night for Leeds. Really passed with any great purpose. And you think with recent results that they would have come into this game with far more confidence. It certainly hasn't clicked for Leeds. You talk about key men, Harrison, Rafinha's barely had a kick.
Not seeing the rotation of movement you saw under Bielsa as well. Last season, I think it was up at Everton, I was absolutely just bemused by it all and baffled by it all. The rhythm, the movement, it was terrific. It was a very mature performance. You had Dallas popping up, left side defender, left wing back, right side, Ayling going all over the place. Such movement. We're not seeing that sort of Leeds anymore.
They stay in the holes, don't they? See Click and Phillips just sitting in front of that back four. Rodrigo playing as the 10. He's barely had a kick in. Rafinha wide off this right-hand side. Lovely skill there, though.
And off he goes. Chased by Zaha, doesn't get there. In the middle, look for the run of Harrison in there, bursting forward to join James. It's cleared away.
But when you see what he's capable of just there, Rafinha, why not get the ball out to him more often?
Rumour with moves away from Leeds in the summer, of course, he'll be badly missed. And they get the cross in here through.
Where's he off to in the summer then? That's something I've not heard that rumour.
Yeah, he's been chased by a lot of clubs abroad. And
where's your money on then, Jonathan?
I've no idea. Spain, I would think.
Spain. Sociedad?
Maybe. Barcelona. Real Zaragoza. Going to be a corner kick on the Leeds United left. High towards the far post, and good climb there, brave Rodrigo. Couldn't quite get over it, and the ball heads it away. 6 goals for him this season, 3 in his last 4. Scored that win at Watford. Important it was. Okay, Watford. We've got Watford Burnley for you on Saturday. That's our base for the Premier League on 5 Live. Ian Dennis and Glenn Murray there. Big week for Deno, actually. He's at Liverpool Villarreal on Wednesday. 2 games in a week for Deno. Glad to see him doing something at last. On Sunday, Celtic Rangers, noon. Ali Bruce-Ball and Patton, a good man, isn't he? Ali Bruce-Ball. Scottish Premiership on 5 Live for you, all here. Is he beating you in fantasy football?
Yep. Yeah, I'm not doing so well, but I have a life.
Mateta, left-hand side. Zaha runs at Ayling. Too easy, went down, says the referee. Eze crosses into the middle, it's cleared away to nearly top to Klein. Well dealt with by Harrison back there for Leeds United. Crystal Palace are certainly making inroads down their left-hand side. Have been doing so for the last 15 minutes, but that's a free kick for Leeds. Ayew has tipped his man. And the Palace fans are howling because they think they should have had a free kick back here on the left, but the referee played on and they got across it.
And had Palace scored and the referee thrown up earlier for a foul on Zaha, the Palace players would have been furious. Just too quick for Ayling once again. The cross in though, opportunity nearly coming off.
Just quizzing the fourth official down here at this moment in time, the Palace bench, asking why it wasn't a free kick for Zaha, but the referee quite clearly denoted he was playing on. What a risky ball back into his own half by Rodrigo. Keeper stretch couldn't get there. It was harmless in the end. Goes back to Meslier, ever present this season for Leeds United. Such a big future ahead of him. He's only a boy still, isn't he, really? He's Luke Ayling, 10 years his senior. And infield it goes to Llorente, closed quickly by Zaha and springs away for a goal kick. Zaha's gone down. I think he just got caught by one of the unmentionables there. It's okay. And Leeds United released to the left-hand side. Dallas sets sail. He's got Harrison over there, tickles it back to Dallas, who has a look up, men in the middle, squirts up his boot away for a goal kick.
Been really poor in the final third, haven't they, Leeds? I don't think Gaita's had anything to do. No shots on target.
Yeah, Cooper was a header easy save, wasn't it? Wasn't much.
Yeah, but hasn't been troubled at all. I wonder what Bielsa would make of this Leeds performance in the first half.
When you consider that they've scored, 9 goals in their last 4? Jesse Marsch is not enjoying it down there at all. I think he's going to make a change. Not this late in the first half. Oh, maybe we'll wait and see. Sending away. Cooper, you wouldn't think so, would you? He's telling someone to warm up down there. Surely he'd wait until after the break, wouldn't he? Unless there's an injury.
I can't quite see who it is. Well, there's a couple of Leeds players warming up, so the calculations for him to get his tracksuit off and then on to full 45. It's not going to happen.
Cleared away neatly by Guaita out to the right hand side, 40 yards away, inside instep pass away towards Klein. He's dispossessed and Leeds have it back again. A scrappy old first half. Palace have been the better side. 4.5 minutes to go on 5 Live from the BBC. Kick it given again against Palace. The home fans groan about it. 2 thumping wins here they've had in a row. That Arsenal victory in the Cup quarter-final against Everton before that. He's Ayling now for Leeds United, halfway line. Pale blue boots. Just slips inside Zaha, but he's crossfield ball to Rodrigo, intercepted by MacArthur. Rodrigo with orange boots on tonight, away towards the left-hand side to Dallas. Short sleeve shirt, finds the long sleeve shirt of Rodrigo, and he pushes it back in then towards Calvin Phillips. Phillips infield to Click. Side foot pass away towards the left-hand side, all this in front of the Palace defence. They hold rigid and determined. MacArthur's dropped it back in there temporarily to make it looking like a 5. They cleared away, Ward's header to Zaha, and he's slipped away there from Rafinha. Might have brought an arm back. Rafinha's gone down holding his face, and the referee, because he sees it as a head injury, stops it, and Palace howl because Zaha, as he turns towards the fourth official, explains that Mateta was away and clear, and no one is noticing that Mateta at the other end is involved in a bit of a dust-up there now with Llorente. He stopped it for a facial injury, a head injury, and immediately he blew to stop it. Rafinha got up.
Well, how much contact was there? Zaha and Rafinha go together, and it's a shove off with the palm of his hand. Rafinha goes to ground like has been smashed round the head with a shovel. The ball slipped into the channel, but tensions, feelings running high here. I think Zaha does palm him off, but does he really need to go down like that, Rafinha? He's better than that.
Well, over recent years, he's been the most fouled Premier League player. Wilfried Zaha, he takes a heck of a lot of stick. I'm not too sure he was right to palm Rafinha off in the face as he did, though. Mateta's come across and made friends with Rafinha, and meanwhile the referee down England is having a strict talk to Patrick Vieira.
I think it's poor from Rafinha. I think after a few seconds he was embarrassed about the way he went down. He's definitely a contender for the simulation game. So much better than that. And I can understand Vieira's frustration there.
Well, they are strictly told if it's a head injury.
But that...
It wasn't, was it?
No. Wasn't the force there.
And Rafinha booed now.
Oh, it's getting fiery, isn't it?
He was being buffeted perhaps by Ward. He might have felt that. Another little word between the two of them. Throw to Leeds halfway inside the Palace half. 0-0. Ward comes and heads it away. Rafinha lifts his foot up. It's a high foot. Ward glares at him. Rodrigo calms Ward down. The referee has a job to do here. I think that's all a bit silly for me. Ward knew what was coming. I think he might have played, but let's have another look here.
It's a high boot from Rafinha. Ward doesn't really stoop to head the ball. I think Rafinha's fortunate there. It looks like he's just bubbling a bit, Rafinha.
Needs to calm down a bit, Chris, doesn't he? How much stoppage time have we got now? The fourth official's about to lift up the board. I hate it when they do that. They come out, lift up the board and then put it down again. What's the point? On the line then by Guaita.
May just be a habit.
Well, maybe there's Eze for Crystal Palace coming in off the left hand side, 5 yards outside the Leeds box, tried to work it square. Phillips was well positioned. Leeds get it away. Good touch off there by Rodrigo. Caught by a wild challenge by Anderson as he played it away. Yellow card. Referees have to bring one out here to calm things down.
Yeah, that was a poor challenge from Anderson. Came off his feet, lunged into the challenge. Needless, really, just put himself under pressure. I think yellow's about right.
But it is beginning to simmer. At last, because it's a game of real importance. Crystal Palace very probably have done enough to ensure another season in the top, and deservedly so. Leeds United still have major work to do, and this was a game of major importance. But
you said that, Villa still in trouble. Palace are on the same points as Villa. I think they are. I think they are.
Villa, Norwich at home, Burnley away, Liverpool home, Palace home, Burnley home, Manchester City away. Burnley fighting for the lives. I think they'll be alright, Villa. I think they'll, in the end, pull away. Rafinha with the throw into the box. It's curious, isn't it, that two sides, everyone's saying what an improvement Patrick Vieira has made, what an improvement Steven Gerrard has made, and I think they have. But in terms of league positions and points, it's a different story. Half time here, by the way, Chris.
Yeah. 0% goal rate.
What have you made of the first half? Palace on top.
Yes, I think Palace have played the better football. I think Leeds haven't found any rhythm whatsoever in possession, haven't offered a goal threat. I think Palace have had the better opportunities, but the end of the first half, tensions running high, could be a lively second half. Leeds need a big result, don't they?
Well, the boos you can hear for the referee as he trots down the tunnel, Darren England. And Crystal Palace fans irate at some of the decisions. No goals though, chappers, at half time. It's Crystal Palace 0, Leeds 0. And it's always a pleasure, I can tell you, always a pleasure. And it wasn't a pleasure of a first half, Chris, was it, to be honest? Leeds United are still fighting for their Premier League lives. Let's not make any mistake about that. And you wouldn't believe it from the lack of energy in the first half from them, commitment, hunger.
Yeah, really, I mean, going forward, they've offered very, very little. We can talk about the Bielsa sacking, but Leeds had a style of football which we all understood. I actually don't really understand how they're trying to get up the pitch. They have made a substitution at half-time, Koch coming on. for Click.
Yeah.
I think who's gone off. I think there was an unhappiness from Jesse Marsh in the first half about Zaha's threat against Luke Ayling, and Click wasn't getting across, so Cocker's on to deal with that.
And Leeds United, all in white, will kick from right to left in this second half, then with Meslier in goal, and you've got Ayling, and you've got Llorente and Cooper, and then Robin Koch in midfield alongside Phillips, and on this near side is Dallas, the left fullback, and then on the left hand side moving forward is Harrison, James up front with behind him Rodrigo on the ball now. On the right hand side in support for Leeds is Rafinha. That's how they line up then in this second half. Crystal Palace in the red and blue shorts with White in goal, Klein, Anderson, Gehi and Ward. And you've got MacArthur holding in midfield with Gallagher, and then you've got a line of Ayew and Eze and Zaha behind Mateta, but it's Leeds on the attack, and they're in the Palace penalty area straight away, and it's Rafinha cutting inside his man, shot deflected away just outside the 6-yard area and squirted away for a corner kick. So whatever Jesse Marsh said to them at half time seems to have worked. They come out front foot.
Yeah, I tell you what, Joel Ward does brilliantly as the Palace left back. Rafinha always wants to come inside on that left foot. Ward expected him to, and you get the block Palace, but a corner for Leeds. More attacking impetus in the first 15 seconds of the second half than the whole of the first half.
Vinny on the edge of the 6-yard area. Ayling is in there as well. Can be dangerous at set pieces. Rafinha came away from the 6-yard area, twisted his head and headed over the goal. Awkward, always awkward that one, Chris, when you're coming away from goal, isn't it, to get it back on target with a header?
Yeah, it's not easy. I did it a few times in my career, but you have to catch that, really time it well and catch it perfectly, but very, very different.
Premier League Golden Boot winner in your time, weren't you?
Yeah, back in. I don't like to talk about myself, Jonathan. I'm really impressed with your knowledge at half time at the French League. So French, Spanish, but you didn't know the New York derby, which was disappointing.
That's true, and must do better. I've just written down here.
You're not a fan of American
club football?
soccer?
Club football? No. Here's James on the left-hand side for Leeds United. Steps inside, bends the cross in, as he gets it away for Crystal Palace, helped out by MacArthur. Has been pushed by Zaha there. So the referee says wasn't a push and play on. Clock stayed down for a while, and Mateta chases down on Llorente, guiding it back there towards Meslier. He has to hack it away, and it's back into the Palace half, and all a little bit scrambly at this moment. I think it's getting better, the club football in the USA, but I'm not a fan.
It'll be interesting to see Palace's approach in this second half. I think they had the better of the first half, as carrying on that momentum, trying to get clear-cut opportunities.
Cooper under pressure from Mateta.
I don't think that's a foul. I really don't. It's coming to a long ball in the left-hand channel. Mateta and Cooper, they stride for stride. Mateta makes up ground on Cooper. Cooper wins the ball. I think it's a coming together, but I think Mateta wins the ball.
He's got surprising pace, hasn't he, Mateta?
Well, you're saying Bolt was tall, wasn't he?
He's a big 6'4".
No, 6'4".
He's massive.
Yeah, but you can't be a big 6'4". You're 6'4".
True. Hang on, make a note. Must do better. And we'll throw to.
Who's that? I don't know. I mean, what's a big 6'4"? A 6'5"?
An editor would castigate me for that and have me over the coals and say, "Look, you're quite right." And I did an English degree as well. I should know that. Would you believe I did an English degree?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Many people would. I was barely there, to be honest. Played too much football. Got suspended for a year. Another story. Now here's Leeds United over the halfway line, looking for Harrison. Tries to chop it across to Rodrigo, but well positioned was Joel Ward. And MacArthur's been pounced upon in midfield. Seems to me that Calvin Phillips is playing a little bit higher at the start of this second half. The ball ricochets away.
That's a yellow card.
A yellow card for young James, and Ward has reacted angrily, and Rafinha's getting in there to push Dan James away. It was a poor challenge, it was ill-timed, and the referee is going to pull out a card, and we'll see what should only be yellow, I think, but he has had a problem this season with poorly timed challenges. And is this 10 yellow cards for Dan James this season? He's had a lot. I'll ask George to just check on that for us. I know it's a lot of yellow cards he's had, but
might take a while. I mean, that was daft from Dan.
Seen it again here.
Yeah, Ward clipping the ball up the line, left foot, and he comes in so late. It's stupidity. It really is. Angry little fella there. Blimey. I mean, why put yourself under that pressure?
Well, that's it, really. You've seen it again. That was late. It was a bit high as well.
And there were groans from the Palace fans. Is Ward booked as well for his reaction?
Angry reaction. That's the 7th in the league since January. I think it's 10 in all. It's 7 in the league since January. But he's showing spirit and commitment, but you need to channel it in the right direction, don't you?
Spirit, commitment, stupidity. What was our point of that? Ward was always getting there first.
Going nowhere, was he? Only 6 minutes gone in the second half. Still 0-0 though. Time for Crystal Palace, all 5 live at the start of this huge week for football. Anderson back to his goalkeeper, Guaita, who clears it away.
Are they a yard sharper in the second half though, Leeds?
I think they are. And they're getting to the ball, they're more energetic in their tackle, and Jesse Marsh must have got at them somehow in that half-time interval. As Palace look for Mateta, and then they'll flick up to Zaha. This time Ayling comes in with a sliding challenge, but the ball bounces away to Mateta, who's going to tap the left-hand corner of the Leeds United penalty area. Palace will see it, draws it back to Eze in support. And a couple of little drag backs there from Eze as he tried to work an angle and push it into the penalty area, and in the end it goes straight through to Melia.
Yeah, I think Eze expected Mateta to make a run. Mateta on his heels there. So he hasn't had as much influence in this game as he would have liked.
Jesse Marsh, player in the MLS. Chris will know this with his knowledge of MLS football. You know who he played for? He comes from Wisconsin in the USA.
Right.
Do you know who he played for? Wisconsin in the USA.
Wisconsin?
No, the clue was USA. He played for DC United and the Chicago Fire. The clue was the USA. You missed it.
Do Wisconsin have a team?
I've no idea. He had a long career, I know that. He won 2 or 3 titles. Oh, that's a lovely ball now. Eze finding Zaha on the edge of the Leeds penalty area. Good challenge by Ayling. Good challenge. It's a corner kick.
Zaha protesting. He wanted a penalty. What a pass that was from Eze. So it hasn't had a big influence, but he passes it inside. Ayling, Zaha gets on the ball, tries to chop inside on his right foot, throws a leg over. Ayling times the challenge to perfection. Good defending there, 1v1.
Mateta's an obvious danger in there for Crystal Palace. Is closing in on the 6-yard area now with Anderson at the near post. Corner kick for Crystal Palace on their left-hand side. It'll come curling in. Ayes at the far post. Oh, it's poor corner. Didn't beat the first man. Rodrigo got it away for Leeds United. It's spun back into the box. This time Cooper gets it out. Ayes spins it on. It was a lovely challenge by him moments ago. Didn't concede that corner kick, but now he watches us. Zaha spins inside and slightly leaning back. He spoons the ball over. Dangerous move again though by Wilfried Zaha.
Yeah, he wins the ball back really well. I've got to say, it's a pathetic challenge from Rodrigo. 50-50 with Zaha. Pulls out, he does. Rodrigo. Zaha chops on his inside and lashes the ball wildly over the bar.
Rodrigo's goals this season, and in the first half he's got 3 and 4 his goals have produced 5 points this campaign, a vital 5, but there's no way he has been the success they envisaged he would be when they spent £19 million record, I think it was, wasn't it, back in August 2020.
Where was he signed from?
Valencia.
Was he Valencia? Was he, or did you just say that to get that for him?
No, he was, I'm pretty sure. It's going to be a throw then to Crystal Palace on 5 line. And it'll be taken by Klein, moves forward and hurls the ball down the line. Palace got a glancing header back to the top head it was. Cooper had to clear it away. As Palace nodded forward in an unsort of tidy way, it slips through to Melia once again. 0-0.
Yeah, Gallagher having words with Mateta. I think wanting a bit more energy from him.
Good header away by Ward for Crystal Palace to MacArthur. Trundles forward over the halfway line. Trying to nick it into Zaha's feet, but Leeds win it back again. This is Rafinha on the far side from us then. Rafinha down the line, blocked off by Ward. Good defending.
I think Ward has played him superbly tonight. There was that one moment in the first half where Rafinha nutmegged Ward, but other than that, played really well, Joel Ward.
10 years this summer he's been a Palace player, 300 games for them, and they're on the attack now. Gallagher, centre circle for Crystal Palace, spins, lays it into Mateta. Mateta facing away from goal, spun, pushes it back to Eze, tried to steer it outside of the foot, blocked there by Robin Koch, and Leeds United will get it away. And here's Calvin Phillips, the excellent Calvin Phillips, missed so much this season by Leeds, who counted themselves much better they are in this second half, but an angle ball by Dallas was misplaced and away by Mark Gahey, and then a misplaced header by Cooper's. Gahey's clearance sailed into the Leeds half. Cooper's clearance went to Mateta. He found Zaha. Zaha tries to open up to Gallagher, and Conor Gallagher on the edge of the penalty area holds his head in his hands because Cooper was just there to get it away.
Yeah, Zaha driving down the left-hand channel for Palace, and he spotted Gallagher, who was marauding forward on the right-hand side, and tried to find him with a right-footed pass, but Cooper, right place at the right time, intercepts, and the danger snuffed out.
Palace have possession. With the chance of watching an MLS game or Wroxham in a higher division next season, what would you do? Grassroots level in England?
It's an easy one, isn't it? Gateway to the Broads.
Is it?
Yes, that's the name, isn't it? Wroxham, the gateway to the Broads. Have you ever?
The glorious gateway to the Broads?
No, just the gateway.
Just simple. Yeah. That's on the attack on the left-hand side. Zaha between the box and the far touchline as he tried to check back inside it, ricocheted off Ayling, and out comes Meslier to claim. I'm going to go and watch Hassocks, the local team to meet, play Littlehampton tomorrow in the RUR Charity Cup in semi-final it is, down in Sussex. I don't think they've ever made a major final, Hassocks, so I'm going to go and watch them. A long ball for Leeds United into the penalty area. If you're in that area, by the way, pop along. Support your local club.
Might put people off popping along as they know you're going to rock up there.
Well, this is a good run by Ayo up the halfway line. Run into a good block challenge though by Llorente, and Leeds come again, and the game's beginning to open up, and the cross slide down by Harrison. Too much on it all the way through. Behind you, Whiter going out there to full-back style, clear it away, has given it straight back to Leeds. James into the penalty area. Elling's made a run into the box, tries to get to the dead ball line. Good challenge for Crystal Palace back there to win it back, and it's brought away. Not quite see who that challenge was on that far side. MacArthur rolling back the years.
Was that speaker in your way?
No, it's a stanchion in the way this time. Rodrigo, this is a shot from distance, and it wasn't a bad one either by Stuart Dallas, and it zipped across the turf. They're much better in the second. They're going to make a substitution here, by the way. Leeds United. They're going to bring on a young Sam Greenwood, who's going to come on down there. It is Sam Greenwood who's going to come on then for Leeds, and Daniel James is going to go off, and I think there's a reason why he's going to go off. Lost his temper on a yellow card, and on comes young Sam Greenwood, the 20-year-old Sunderland lad, centre forward, 6th appearance of the season, had the one start in the Cup at West Ham. Under 21 now he is for England, scored on his debut against Georgia, and on he comes.
Well, he'll offer more of a presence. We know Daniel James will always try and make those movements in behind. Mentioned they've missed Patrick Bamford this season, him being a focal point, the player to hit, to link the play. Haven't had that really this evening. Maybe Greenwood will offer that.
Just a little look from Jesse Marsh to Dan James as he came off. Could be happy with his commitment, but not with the application of the commitment with that challenge. Could have got him red carded. MacArthur now for Crystal Palace, plumb dead centre, 10 yards inside his own half, rolls away from two Leeds players. Back it goes then to his goalkeeper Guaita, and he angles it out to the right fullback Klein, under real pressure now. The major difference in this second half, Leeds have pressed the ball. This is more like a Bielsa Leeds now. Inside, Jalen got there, won the ball. Gallagher's flown over him, nothing wrong with the challenge. Feet were low, won it. Palace fans howled. There was nothing wrong with it, in my opinion.
Well, I'm with you. Ayling just took a heavy touch, didn't he? And that lured Gallagher in. Ayling got there first, and then Gallagher on his feet and hunting the ball back. Challenges Cooper, and he goes down for Leeds. Doesn't stop, does he, Gallagher?
Hurtles through every game, up and back. Wants to win every challenge, every ball. Palace fans love the man on loan from Chelsea. Seeing again the replay, Ayling got there, won the ball fair and square. He's MacArthur for Crystal Palace, turned into trouble. They've been quick to pressurise him in this second half. Leeds and pressure, Eze there again. Won back well by Phillips. Leeds on the attack, they're the better side in this second half. Danger signs flashing for Crystal Palace. Shot from the edge of the penalty area. He hit his own player then, didn't he? Jack Harrison, did he hit Rodrigo?
Yeah.
It's
Rodrigo. Yes, it was Rodrigo. Good shooting position, 20 yards out, hammered the ball. Harrison.
Oh no, it hit the young substitute.
Greenwood, yeah. Actually looked like that may have been creeping in. Has a little look up, Harrison, and pings the ball. It hits Greenwood, who just makes a run across Reiter's eye line.
Become the first Leeds player to score in 4 successive Premier League matches since Mark Viduka in the spring of 2004. Eze. Oh, Zaha slipped into the penalty area. Now he could have shot, he could have crossed long for Ayew. He tried to just zip it back to Mateta, and it lacked any sort of quality. The chance has gone, Leeds clear.
Yes, brilliant from Zaha initially. Takes the ball away from Llorente, who dived in, but that final ball, sloppy again. Got his head up, tried to find Mateta. You can see still having words with himself, Will Zaha. He knows that was an opportunity wasted.
0-0, 61 played, 5 live from the BBC. In comes the throw for Palace. Mateta with another head back to Zaha, and it's swept away by Calvin Phillips. Goalless thus far, but a more enterprising second half, that's for sure. And Leeds look to put it over the top then to Greenwood. It's clear by the outside of the boot by Joe Anderson. Eze dances down the left-hand touchline, goes beyond Koch, he's into the Leeds half. Again didn't protect the ball with the pass to Zaha. Sloppy, maybe a little bit showboaty. Leeds have it back. Here's Robin Koch, the German international. Central midfield, wasteful by the substitute Sam Greenwood.
How good was that from Eze? Just teased Koch and went round him.
Leeds have possession inside the Palace half. Ayling flicked between two defenders, but one of them was the excellent Joel Ward. He goes to clear and Rafinha slides in. Fair challenge by him. Good competition when they get their mind set. Ward's had a fine game.
I mean, it's great for Patrick Vieira, isn't it, that Ward can step in. But left back Mitchell's had a fantastic season, and that fight really, that right back position, Klein has done well, but good player Ward is.
Ball bent into the Palace box looking for Rodrigo. The Eagles clear, 0-0. Ayew then this right hand side, seen little of him in this second half. Now he's blocked from Cooper and goes in with a block challenge on Cooper. Good old feisty play that was, but Leeds cleared away. Phillips sold the pass short. Ward comes in, now Eze can work it out towards Zaha, and Zaha has got a run on Llorente. Llorente has to cover on Zaha, steaming forward down the left hand side, couple of step overs, 2-on-8, and he's lost possession, and Phillips will steer it away. It was his poor ball in the first place that created that danger. And Leeds have got out of it in the end, and Dallas's clearance cuts the halfway line, and Anderson picks it up at 0-0.
Cobb did really well to get back and double up and help Ayling out with Zaha running at him.
I think Wolfenstein, just another case there. He had the ball played out to him. He was isolated with Ayling for a little while. He hesitated, and across came Cobb to double up. Got to be aware, hasn't he, Chris? He's got to take that advantage early when he gets it, when he's isolated with Ayling.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't allow another Leeds midfielder or Rafinha back to double up.
Away by Cocker's going to be a throw to Crystal Palace on that far side. Reminiscing earlier tonight, BBC Radio London on the Palace side to reach the cup final, the wonderful players and characters they had here. But the first Leeds side I ever saw play live was Sprake, Reaney, Charlton, Hunter, Cooper, Giles, Bremner, Eddie Gray, one of my all-time heroes, Peter Lorimer, Joe. I think Alan Clark was there then. I think it was just before Alan Clark, but he might have been. Anyway, wonderful team, wasn't it? A wonderful team this year though, as they try and get over the departure of their previous manager, and now they have to defend a free kick here conceded by Dallas. Little ankle tap on Ayling, touch fists, and Ayling moves away rather gingerly down this near side. Dallas roll the free kick back to Anderson. MacArthur being controlled by Greenwood, slips it away to Gay and takes it up once again, and MacArthur moving forward, looks to play it through. It's intercepted by Cock, and look who's after it, gets there first. James MacArthur, age 34, ageless, tireless, gets there again. Players missed too much football this season, injured.
He does a really good job, doesn't he, for Palace?
Zaha skipped beyond Ayew. In comes the low cross, Mateta! Oh, good run, good position, absolutely horrible finish, and over the bar by about 5 yards.
And maybe your message there to Wilf Zaha, when you get the ball, be direct, and he does it brilliantly. Stands Ayling up on the far touchline, pushes it past him, whips across in, left-footed, then Mateta runs across the near post, 7 yards out, and mind the windows, Mateta nearly goes over the stand.
He really was rising very fast and very steeply, almost over the roof of the Holmesdale. Palace are going to make a change here now, and Jordan Ayew is going to be replaced. Sympathetic applause for Ayew. Palace fans know how hard he works, but they love the character who is coming on to replace him here. He has become an instant folk hero at Selhurst Park. Michael Elise. He has pace, he has verve and style, a directness about him. And the fans are singing his name, and Gallagher brings him into the play straight away, and he skips beyond Dallas and floats across far post all the way through. Here's Zaha. Palace have got danger now and pace on either flank. Zaha goes near post and saved low down quite comfortably by Melia.
Do you know what? I love that from Elise, because he's seen so much of him, always wants to come inside on that left foot, doesn't he? First time he gets the ball, what does he do to Dallas? Drives the outside, puts a cross in. Zaha picks the ball up from the far byline, chops inside on his right foot. Can't quite find that far corner. Melia down smartly to his left-hand side.
And the attack now, Palace, it will be 4-1 because they have the dream quartet on for a lot of Palace fans. Elise and Eze and Zaha and Gallagher. Youth there and pace, confidence. And Leeds, who started this second half strongly, will have to beware. That's a risk taken by Joel Ward, a 40-yard dive and a ball deep back into his own penalty area from left to right. Anderson was aware it was coming, tapped it down the line, Klein onto Elise, neatly done. And now Eze back to big Mark Gay. Born in Azerbaijan, raised in London, and an England international this season. If he progresses in the early weeks of next season, the 21-year-old have a real case to go to Qatar with the England World Cup squad. Elise might be there then. He's just gone beyond Dallas as if he wasn't there, and he pushes it forward to Gallagher. Mateta's in the near post area. Good challenge on him. Nothing wrong with that as he went to check back in. Llorente had gone to ground. It wasn't a Gallagher's running towards the referee.
But I tell you what Llorente does do, he goes to ground really early, and Gallagher, I think he sees that. Conor Gallagher, you're better than that. He goes down so easily. But Llorente took a risk by going to ground, and Gallagher tried to make the most of that situation.
He drew his foot on to the slithering.
They're checking it.
Well, I don't think it's a penalty from up here anyway. Unless they've seen something we haven't seen, and the check is over.
I think Gallagher's a bit naughty there.
Yeah,
really do.
Eze with the corner kick on the right hand side for Crystal Palace. 0-0. 70th minute. That's been out of play and comes back in. How infuriating for his forwards in the middle, and his manager Patrick Vieira, hands in pockets, turns back to the dugout, has a word back in there with Ocean Roberts, the assistant, looking down the line. Who might they bring on now then? Crystal Palace. Options on the penalty, on the penalty spot for them, in the dugout for them. Well, they can bring on Christian Benteke, Watson, Edouard.
It'd be quite incredible if the options were on the penalty spot, wouldn't it?
Would they? Yes. This list of must do better is getting longer and longer.
What a place to put the options.
Elise. And by Anderson. And just siphoned it away to the left-hand corner of his own penalty by Guaita. And Palace playing out to the back. Blackburn have won at Preston, by the way, 4-1. They move up to 7th on 66 points, 3 behind Sheffield United in that tight tussle for a playoff position. Good old battle that is. Still so much to play for in the EFL. That's the throw to Crystal Palace. Jesse Marsh caught it, doesn't release the ball, drops it to the floor as Nathaniel Klein comes in. Marsh points to someone to close on Eze. But the throw went backwards, back up the line to Anderson, and square it goes in 30 yards away to Mark Gay. Gay with that left wrist bandage as he always plays, and off goes Zaha flying down the left and brings in Eze in a wider position. Eze now leaves her a bit stretched. They've got 4-on-4 momentarily there. In the middle, here's Zaha. Zaha feeds Olise, takes it left footed back to the right, then to the left hand side to Gallagher. Gallagher's shot is blocked, but they're certainly pressing hard now, Palace, for the opening goal.
They look so dangerous now, Palace, with Olise off the right hand side. He does really well, Olise, unselfish. Prods a little past to Gallagher, who takes one touch with his right foot, fires a shot, and it's a good block. Gallagher doesn't quite get the shot off as he would like, but they got the chance from the corner.
Elise will take it, Leeds with everyone back. In it comes, a good header away inside that penalty area by Rafinha, carries 30 yards. Ward, last man back for Crystal Palace, knew what he wanted to do, switch it away to the left hand side. He's done just that. Leeds stayed back in, so Eze's on the side in front of the Arthur Waite on the left hand side. 0-0 on 5 Live to the flaxen haired Gallagher. In comes across towards the edge of the 6-yard area. Olise rises, it's headed away well by Dallas. And now MacArthur for Crystal Palace. Back it goes to Anderson and in turn to Gahey. He has a look wide to the right hand side, sort of not the best of passes to climb, but it made its mark down the line to Elise. Quick release, has injected real pace into the game. Zaha's come to the right, gets across all the way through the box, and Ayling, calm as you like, chests it back to Elliott.
Yes, brilliant from Ayling, but how good has Elise been? What I like about him, he doesn't pass the ball, and he's finished with it. Gives the ball at the right time, doesn't overdo it, picks the right time to play the ball, and Zaha there with the early cross. Ayling's had a pretty solid game, tested at times, but cool there.
Klein down the line from Crystal Palace, 72 minutes gone, 0-0. Came to a Leeds player in Dallas. He finds Harrison, scoops it down the line because Dallas had followed his pass and gone down that line. They're going to make another substitution, Leeds United, any moment now. They're going to bring on Joe Gelhardt, the youngster who's had a fair few opportunities this year, a dozen games for the centre forward from Liverpool, ex-Wigan player. Got a goal against Norwich City. Came on for a minute in that game and got the winner. Was it the other one at Chelsea? Joe Gelhardt? Might have been, I think I was there that day. And he's going to replace Rodrigo. Curious game for Rodrigo for me, Chris. What do you make of him?
Not a lot this evening. Barely had a kick. Pulled out of a challenge at the start of the second half. Maybe lucky he stayed on for 73 minutes.
Gelhardt is on then. I think we've had more games this season. A couple of injury problems. There's Crystal Palace roared on by their fans. Trying to get out wide to Ward. Ward's holding his face and can't get back into a defensive position. If Leeds look, they've got an opportunity on their right, so they go left. Is Dallas then to Cooper. Koch is in a little bit of space. And Rafinha available on the left-hand side because Ward hasn't got back. He has now. Halfway line at 0-0. Ailing little give and go attempted with Rafinha, but instead Rafinha sort of returned it to him, pushed it back to his right side defender Llorente. He's Koch coming into the midfield line now. Gerrard slips beyond his man as he fouled, tries to get to his feet again. Gallagher is there to block challenge, win it back for Palace. And pushes it to his left hand side. It's misplaced, the clearance by Eze. Leeds have a throw in. 16 minutes to go, Chris, and no goals. Difficult one, this one, to call, to see where it's going to go. Gallagher though has made the most of a mistake by Koch. It was a poor square ball. Gallagher intercepted it and he's gone beyond his man into the penalty area by Phillips. He went by him so easily and the cover was there by Llorente, and Gallagher has forced a corner kick here for Crystal Palace.
They've made so many errors, Leeds, with the passing the whole game. Simple passes they've been missing. And Gallagher nicking the ball back once again. Can Palace make something from this corner? Delivery hasn't been good so far this evening.
Taken short on that left hand side. Zaha shrugged off his marker, pushes square to Ward. This will be something for Joe Ward if he can bend this in, and he very nearly did on his 250th Premier League appearance for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Palace players screaming for a corner as Ward was all of 30 yards out. I actually think that he fires a shot and there is a deflection. I think he's shut down by Rafinha. Came off his studs. Should have been a corner. Wasn't given.
One for Leeds would take them to a point below Villa and Crystal Palace, but more significantly 5 clear of Burnley.
And is it a point you expected on your predictor?
Little one in pencil above Leeds Crystal Palace fixture. Thought it would end as a draw tonight. Crystal Palace have got a chance now to thwart my prediction. Is going to be a yellow card for Llorente for pulling back on Zaha. A little header by Zaha, and as he went to get between the two, there you are.
That's rugby. Llorente. Zaha really angry, fired up. And the delivery from set plays hasn't been there for Palace this evening. Is this the time? Eze over the ball.
Eze left hand side for
Elise as well.
Yeah, Anderson's up in the middle. They've got their options on the penalty spot, Chris. Mateta's there and Anderson. And who else is in the MacArthur? Leeds with a line of 5 defenders, 6 defenders. Look across again on a line level with the penalty spot. As this free kick will bend in if it's Eze to take. It's 3 yards in from the far side there, left. As he stutters to run as he comes into the penalty. Rafinha got something on it, bounce out to Gallagher. Oh, good effort. Bounce up maybe a little bit too high for him, but he still cracked a fine effort just off target.
Yes, the ball whipped in right-footed from Eze, headed clear by Rafinha, and it just spins, and Gallagher's, it's a bouncing ball, he's shut down by Dallas. He can't get his right hip up high enough and get over the ball, and it spins just over the bar, yard over the bar.
Eze is going to go off, and he's going to be replaced by Jeff Schlupp for Crystal Palace. And I think Crystal Palace will look at this as at 78 minutes for Eze.
Moments, hasn't there, for him? He drifted past Koch on the touchline. It's a really talented, skillful player. There's some good attacking options Palace have.
Comes Jeff Schlupp. And in the semi-final, the Cup at Wembley. Leeds have possession. Harrison from the deep, running at Gallagher. He gets another good foot in. And it's been a very good second half for him. As Phillips heads it forward for Leeds United on their left-hand side. All this just 5 yards inside the Palace half. Elise tried to wriggle himself clear. Throw to Leeds. Jesse Marsh applauds the referee's decision. The animated coach on this near side.
good point for Leeds if they can hang on, Jonathan.
I think it's an essential point for Leeds if they can hang on.
Good point.
Yeah. Because they weren't really at it in the first half, were they, Chris?
No.
Look, chased by young Greenwood, all the way towards the left-hand side, but Koch comes out of the centre circle for Leeds. I just thought that might have been handball. Strode on though. Rafinha to the edge of the penalty gate, he clears. Rafinha's back on hand. Now Ayling for Leeds United on the edge of the penalty area. It's a little shot in from the young substitute Gelhardt. Lacked any sort of power to beat Vicente Guaita. It's the Palace goalkeeper has the ball in his hands.
Pinball there, wasn't it, in the middle of the pitch, eventually falling to Gelhardt, right hand side of the box, on his left foot, legs to go for power. And Guaita had something to do in the second half. Warmed his hands.
Have possession. 10 minutes to go on 5 Live. The start of this massive week with Manchester City against Real Madrid tomorrow and Liverpool Villarreal in the Champions League semi-final first legs in the next 2 nights. And then West Ham Eintracht Frankfurt in the Europa on Thursday night. Here's Jeffrey Schlupp for Palace attacking the penalty area. Zaha on the left of the penalty area. Good stop by Melly. Back to Zaha. Double save. Good double save.
Schlupp does really well, driving with the ball, feeds Zaha out on the left-hand side of the box. Zaha, one touch with his outside of his right, but fires a cross shot in. Melia, smart save first time as it came back. Zaha quite safe with the effort, a side foot effort. Melia saved again, no real conviction.
High ball in through the penalty area, it's headed back across goal. And it's not yet cleared away, should be now by Dallas, and indeed is. Dug the clearance out to the halfway line. Klein is there, finds Gallagher. Anderson was tight to the line. Zaha, by the way, hasn't scored in his 8 games against Leeds United, but if he does score today, he'll have netted in 3 successive home games for the first time since May 18, and he's buzzed in this second half.
Schlupp. Substitution, Schlupp coming on. Gallagher playing a little bit higher up the pitch now, isn't he, in that 10 role.
And takes Palace to the 40-point mark. I believe Leeds very much looking over their shoulder. That's a foul by Gallagher. Going to get the weekend games for you on 5. Watford Burnley, 3 o'clock Saturday, that's our base. But Ian Dennis will whiz around all the grounds. You can be assured of that. Celtic Rangers noon, Scottish Premiership with Ali Bruce, Paul and Pat Neville, then Everton Chelsea on Sunday. This is John Murray with Leon Osborne, Premier League on 5 Live, and at 4:30 it's West Ham against Arsenal with Conor McNamara and Matt Upson.
Interesting, Ali Bruce Ball doing that Celtic game. A couple of quizzes we've had on Sudden Death on the Fantasy 606 podcast this season. He's left some Irish players out of the quiz. Really. I hope he's all right up there.
Once to the commentary with the great Billy McNeil, and it took us about an hour to get into the ground. We just signed autograph after autograph after autograph after autograph.
That's every Celtic team and player since that 67 team trying to get to their level.
Wow, that'll be a level to get to, wouldn't it? Benteke's going to come on, presumably for Mateta. Anderson down the line, got caught there. And he turned round and he squared up to Gelhardt. Every right to make the challenge. Was there a little bit late and moved his head towards Gelhardt. Hate to see that from players. Patrick Vieira wants Benteke to be allowed to go on, and he does come on then for Jean-Philippe Mateta. Not as effective today as he was against the Arsenal. Here comes Benteke. I don't think he's scored since November, Benteke. He's got 4 goals this season. He had a little burst of scoring late last season, got his contract renewed. And he's done well there to force the ball out wide to Elise. And that's a goal kick, I fancy. As Dallas came across, clipped it again back off Elise, deflected away for a goal kick. 6 minutes to go, 0-0 on 5 left.
And Leeds, I think they'll settle for a point now. Interesting to see whether it's enough for them this season. Performance not there in the first half. I think it's been slightly better in the second half, but I think Palace will feel this is a game they possibly should have won.
His last goal was against Burnley back in November. Benteke, producer George tells me. Burnley, their 2 games against Aston Villa, home and away, will be absolutely crucial to all of this, to this riddle. So Villa should be okay. It's a bit of a concern, but
Have you got them in your little equation there?
yeah, got them on a pick of another 7 points, Chris. 3 against Norwich, 3 against Palace at home, 1 against Burnley away. They'll finish on 44 points. 2 points ahead of Crystal Palace by my mathematics.
Football doesn't work like that, does it?
No.
Maybe try reading a book.
Well, leave Watson there. And here's Zaha's offside.
Yeah, it made the run early. A long diagonal ball into Benteke. Wins the challenge, flicks it on. Zaha frustrated. Enjoyed that battle. Zaha Ayling. Ayling got a bit of a going over in the first half, but he stood up well.
You don't hear a bad word about Luke Ayling from anyone in football at all. He was an Arsenal kid, went to Bristol City, did so well down there. Scooped away then, and cleared out by Cock towards the far side, just stopping short of the little area where the big Eagles banner segregates the Leeds and Palace fans. Leeds fans still cheering, by the way. Should be a precious point for them. Zaha turns it away to Benteke, readying off the left-hand touchline, goes to switch and look for Elise. That's a peach of a pass. Elise now on the edge of the penalty area, goes one way, cheeks back the other. France Gallagher! Anyway, but there, he shot straight at Meslier, comfortable save, big chance to win it.
Yeah, what a switch of play from Benteke. Breaks a 40-yard ball from left to right across the box. Elise twisting and turning, and he feeds the ball to Gallagher 12 yards out, level with the near post. He's trying to feed the ball in past the Leeds goalkeeper Meslier, but hits it straight at him.
0-0. Palace unbeaten in 5 home games against Leeds. Pressing again, Elise heads forward. Gallagher rather jumped into Cooper, but referee says it's okay. It breaks back to Gallagher. Cooper gets his head to that. Gallagher juggles as it comes down to his left foot, and it's slammed away off the outside of the right foot of Robin Koch. And there's going to be a throw then to Crystal Palace, and we've got under 3 minutes to go. And the throw is taken by Anderson back to Gay inside his own half. Returns it to the Dane, has a look up. A flash of the red boots as he diagonally gets it up to Benteke. Brilliantly holds it up against Llorente and gives the ball away to Ayling. Ayling finds Rafinha. And McCarthy had the presence of mind to get across and block a potential breakout. He's now brought down by Luke Ayling. And it's a free kick to Crystal Palace.
It's been all Palace, hasn't it? In the last 10-15 minutes. But did Leeds not win this fixture earlier on in the season? November time?
I think they did with a penalty to save one. Chris, was it Rafinha from the spot? And they're looking to win 3 consecutive league matches against Palace for the first time ever. High ball diagonally into the penalty area, looks for Gay, behind him was Anderson, heads it back into the mix, nearly dropped for Benteke. Gelhardt, the ball sat awkwardly high for him, but he hooked it away. Palace on the attack again, into the box. Dallas has lost it in the air. Ooh, now! There's a suspicion that Llorente handled that, according to Conor Gallagher. Too sure he did. Difficult to see from where we're sitting. But there was a muted appeal, but from Gallagher only, and on we go. And from right full back up to the middle, Klein finds Benteke, twists in the air, heads out to Zaha. Zaha siphons it to the left-hand corner of the box. Good challenge by Robin Koch. foul challenge, I would suspect, by Ward on Rafinha, and it's going to be a free kick for Leeds. And they're looking here to manage the next minute out, the last minute of the game, the last minute of the 90, and get what will be a very important point for them indeed.
Palace just getting a bit of joy with that diagonal ball into Benteke. He's won all his exchanges since he's come on, but no rush from Leeds. Jesse Marsh looks like he'll settle for a point.
If Leeds play as they did in the first half against Manchester City, Arsenal and Chelsea in the next 3 games, they'll lose them all. Might get a result if they play as they have done in the second half, and then those very important last games, Brighton at home and Brentford away. I'm saying all night they might need to win both of those, because I think the next 3 games will need more anxious times. Look at that massive banner down there behind the Leeds goal at the at Homestead end. Quartered flag, black flag with the red and blue cross on it. As Palace look for the head of Benteke, nods it down the line. And he says, shrugs his shoulders. The ball has beat him with pace, and 3 minutes remain of stoppage time. 3 crucial minutes. If Leeds can get a winner, it would be a huge boost for their survival hopes, and a real dent for those of Burnley and Everton.
It's more likely Palace getting the winner though, isn't it?
There's MacArthur, a good game he's had for them. Anderson running back to his own half, nothing on for him, no risks to be taken at this late stage. So he pushes it all the way back 30 yards for Guaita. Big right foot clearance, rifle back, falls fat on the right foot volley by Dallas into the Palace half. Anderson chops it up again, almost a little bit route one to Benteke. Rose hung in the air, felt he was dragged back by Llorente. The Leeds clearance drops to Klein, who sidles it into the right, inside right channel, and Gallagher goes down under pressure from Calvin Phillips, who gets it away. One here by Ward as Rafinha goes down. There's too much of that going on. Schlupp attacks the penalty area. Zaha, could this be the game-breaking moment? The shot is deflected. Oh, arcs horribly, deflects horribly, goes away for a corner, and Leeds protest. The Rafinha was fouled, and the referee saying, hang on a minute, there could have been 1, 2 or 3 I could have given there.
Yeah, but I thought Gallagher went to ground too easily under a challenge from Phillips, and then at the ball cleared up the pitch, Rafinha went down too easily. I think the referee got both those decisions right, but Palace nearly getting there.
Olise with the corner. Melier comes, punches. Gallagher pushes to his right, but takes an extra stride. Wriggles into the box. Gallagher goes down again, a little bit too easily. Olise crosses back into the penalty all the way through. Zaha leads a stretch. Can Palace win it here? Zaha goes on the outside of Llorente, and the cross shot is deflected into the arms of the smothering Melier.
Yeah, Zaha twisting and turning as Gallagher goes down in the box again. Yeah, he's dived again there, Conor Gallagher, trying to con the referee. He's so much better than that. He's a brilliant player, he really is, but that's unnecessary.
On this one against Phillips, got there first and bumped and goes down again. Needs to stay on his feet here. Leeds look for Rafinha for the first time in the game. I think he's come to the left-hand side and left-footed to the edge of the penalty. Is headed into the box looking for Gelhardt in control. Palace get it back to the goalkeeper, Vicente Guaita, and he'll look to clear away downfield. Very nearly, we have had now 2.5 minutes of stoppage time. Looks like a goalless draw, unless we have something miraculous in the closing moments. Here is Gallagher, loops it forward. He was tired there though, and Dallas heads it back to the goalkeeper.
Melier happy to backpedal, take the ball in, bounce the ball a couple of times. Jesse Marsh will he see it as a valuable point?
I think he will, and they've got the points, and I think it's their first 0-0 draw of the season, and it is a really hard work point for Leeds, who was second best in the first half. Few chances in that first half. Throughout the game, Palace created more. Will Zaha had 5 shots in all in the game, and Leeds improved in the second half, Chris, and 0-0.
Yeah, look, maybe a valuable point for Leeds. They've got some tough fixtures coming up, and Burnley with them putting the pressure on at the bottom. They fought, they scrapped, they weren't creative enough in the final third. For Palace, I thought they were the better team this evening, probably deserved to win the game, but they'll be safe this season, and I think it's been a good season for Crystal Palace.
Leeds moved 3 points clear of Burnley, 5 clear of Everton. 0-0 it finishes here at Sellers Park.